Hello, everybody who's tuning in on YouTube. I'm just letting the rest of the world know.
Napaka-angas mo talaga, boss.
YouTube. Thank you all for joining us. I am going to do what I always do after these games, and that is I will get the scores of the day, and then we'll go into detail.
Si Boss Lalim, ulit eh.
Bear with me a brief moment, everyone.
Si Boss Lalim. Ang sabi? Wala. Asan ba? Pwede ka ba? Nakakalap ka ba sa mga artist? Hindi nga.
So, hello to everybody who's tuning in.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, I'm Emmet Ryan of BallinEurope. It is a great pleasure of mine to welcome all of you to this live stream. Send your questions in, as many as you like, as often as you like. There's no limit. I have a few questions sent in to me by Moshe Barda, who's basically therapy now, so can't join in live. Okie dokie. I have to send this again to my girlfriend. Pardon me. 1 second there. Where's the share button gone? Share button. Sorry, folks, this is hilarious. But my girlfriend wants to join in, and I'm not. My partner, wants to join in, and I am not leaving her cat hanging. So bear with me. 1 second. Sorry for the echo there. So yeah, this is amazing. Great day. What a. Oh no, here is Spangy. Josh. The background noise, Josh, was me sending the link to Spangy. Had to open up the actual stream. So our results of the day. Let's get to those first. They are the following: USA 118, Canada 127. That was a bronze game. Germany 83, Serbia 77. That's the final. So huzzah! They're your world champions, Weltmeister, Deutschland. So yeah, I'll go through the final first. Really good chess match first half. Like, I mean, both teams adjusting so well. Slow start from both. They were cautious, but in a smart way, like not in a fear way. Obviously, we saw that Serbia's perimeter D wasn't quite what it was. Like, Abramovich was doing his job, but he was basically not getting enough help in the perimeter D. That hurt them, I think, a lot. And but in both cases, the real leaders of the sides, Denis Schroeder and Bogdan Bogdanovic, they had quiet, but like not quiet, like patient starts. Then they both really got going in the second quarter. But Dennis clearly did more than Bogdan. Unfortunately, in the end, for Serbia, just to be clear. But I'm a big Bogdan guy, so obviously I'd like to see Bogdan win a world title. Like, he's got 4 silver medals wearing a Serbia jersey, 3 in senior as a senior international. So it would have been nice to see him get one. But like Dennis, what a final for him. Obviously, Franz Wagner was the MVP of the final. But like Dennis, when it mattered, he just came so clutch. Like mid-second quarter, there was this turnover, 8-second violation like this. He was furious. He had been quiet up to then. That unleashed the Dennis. He just started going crazy, hero ball stuff, moving that ball around, getting it done. And then he sort of went back to the patient Dennis for most of the rest of the game, even in the third quarter when Germany were dominating. But in the fourth quarter, when it came for big dudes to stand up, we'll talk about the big dudes in a second. Dennis who got those clinching scores. Brendan Finn asking if it's a controversial team at the tournament by me. For those of you who didn't see, my team at the tournament is very different to the official one. The official one had Dennis and him as MVP. I didn't vote for Dennis. Luka Doncic, I didn't vote for Luka Doncic. Gilgeous-Alexander, I did vote for. Bogdan Bogdanovic, I did vote for. And Anthony Edwards, I did not vote for. No American should have made this team at the tournament. That was a joke, simple as. Luka, yeah, he carried Slovenia to the quarterfinals, but that was like kind of what was expected from the situation they had. It wasn't quite the bare minimum, but it was the level of expectation. And frankly, I don't think Luka belonged to them. I'm a big Luka stan. So no, my team at the tournament had 2 Germans, just not Dennis Schroeder. I had Daniel Theiss and Andy Obst, because for me, a tournament is about the full tournament. And over the full 8 games, they were the 2 most important guys for Germany. Franz Wagner probably would have got into it if he didn't miss literally half of the games of the tournament. I went for Bogdan Bogdanovic, like I said, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Both of those were like straight in. Bogdan was my MVP despite losing the final, because again, I'm doing the tournament as a whole, and Bogdan was the best player across the tournament as a whole. And then lastly, I went with Alexa Abramovich of Serbia, who frankly to me was easily the best defensive player in the tournament, and walked into it. Agree to disagree. So back to the game with the big meaty boys, Daniel Theiss and Johannes Voigtman. They got it done so well. Really was impressed by both of them. especially in the way they effectively just took Milutinov out of the game. Like Nikola had a great start. He was doing his best Nikola Jokic impersonation the way he was passing the ball. But like, that was Gordy Herbert, like letting them go a bit easy on Milutinov early because he wanted to save their, physical aspects for the second half when he knew he'd need them more, especially make sure neither man got in foul trouble early. Gordy Herbert, really well coached this side. Tremendous. And one thing to point out as well with Germany is because so many teams came here short people, many of the players just taking the summer off because they don't want to do 2 summers in a row. Germany had their full roster available for this tournament, and they had the full available roster at Eurobasket last year, as in the only player who didn't show up that was here this time of the big guys was Mo Wagner, and Mo was injured last summer. That's the only reason he didn't play. He'd have played otherwise. And they all showed up. It was great. And really impressed with them. I'm going to take one of Moshe's questions now before I continue with my analysis of it, because Moshe sent me a bunch of them. I may not get through all of them, but I will do my absolute best. Moshe Barda, here we are. I'll go with the better ones, because they're all good, obviously. But so, can we expect the German national team to reach podium after podium? I really think we can, especially as long as their 2 bigs, Theis and Voigtman, stay, young enough. That's the real thing. We got to see where the bigs are coming through for Germany. Like, Mo obviously is quite good in his role, but he needs a beefy boy with him. Like the way they play basketball, that's needed. But obviously, great. My thoughts on the duel of Schroeder and Bogdanovic, just take another one of Moshe's questions briefly, is it was a great duel. It wasn't quite as a takeover duel as we expected, but Schroeder clearly won it, not just because Germany won the game. I'm just going to flip off the WhatsApp on my desktop and just keep it on my phone. And so Shabangi, who, by the way, has been so good the last couple of weeks, knowing that I've been away here. We've been messaging every day, videos to each other, sending kisses. My love, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Did I enjoy my big, meaty, beefy men, Shabangi and our friend Richard asked. And yes, I did. I really enjoy it when the big men go big, meaty, and beefy, especially because it showed the USA wasn't ready for what a FIBA big is. More channel appropriate. I thought that was a pretty channel appropriate question. Who was my beefiest man of the tournament for me? Daniel Theis. That's why I put him in my All-Star 5. Like Jonas probably had more highlight moments, but he was shut down in games. Daniel Theis knew his role so well. That for me was it. And also he played for the Celtics once, so obviously going to be a bias there, even though he's not there anymore. Elsewhere in the game, obviously that third quarter was huge for Germany. The fourth really was old school Euro ball by Serbia. I was very impressed with what they did because when you're down that big, you've got to find the best way to come back. Many teams would panic. Serbia didn't. They went back to basics, made it a messy game, knowing that would make things better for them. And it really showed Germany's character that they could live with that and did enough to hold them off. Like it was down to one possession a couple of times. That Germany never panicked and they kept it together. I'm going to go to another of Moshe's questions now before I continue, and I will mention the bronze medal game briefly as well. Which one I'll go with? Is this all a thing of experience, heavy EU battle-tested guys? And I'll take the other one as a combo. Wagner Bros could or should we expect something different if they had more EU experience? I think it was a bit of both. You need obviously top-tier talent, NBA experience. Like the Wagner Bros came up in the German system, so while they didn't play much adult ball at all, in Europe, they did a little, I think they understood what it involves, and this team has been together as a roster, but it also showed the importance of knowing your role. The European style, which really is the FIBA style, came through, and that's why we had an all-European final in many respects. Like Svezdav Pezic coached an extraordinary game against Canada, but I'm sure if you go to people who know more than me about basketball, and even me, just to be frank about it, probably isn't in his top 5 or 10 best coach games of his life in terms of performance. It's all things considered, are these two national teams the ones we should anticipate reaching the Eurobasket finals with the same rosters? No. Reason being, that's 2025. Germany will be a bit older then. I'm a bit wary of them keeping it going quite that long. That's 2 years. Well, actually, no, they should be fine for 2025. But Serbia, I don't think it'll be this roster. I think the Olympic roster will be more like the European Eurobasket roster, and that's why I think it'll be different. And they'll have Jokic and Micic back for that. I'm going to go on and finish up with the game of this, and then I'll get to the bronze. I will definitely answer Brendan Finn's question. I'm going to do this game, Brendan, then I'm going to do a very quick note in the bronze. That is, Germany just showed what a complete roster is required for this World Cup. Like some teams had stars, some teams played very well as a team without stars. Some teams had a really great 5 to 7 type man roster, but you need to go at least 9 deep in the World Cup now. Like, it's not even an 8 deep situation anymore. You to go 9, 10 deep. Germany went 10 deep really in this, and that was huge. Josh Giddey was awarded the Rising Star Award. I had missed that because I was out literally getting my stuff together. That's a joke. Basically, I'm laughing that Josh Giddey got Rising Star. Nikola Jovic should have walked it. I voted for him. I didn't even have Josh second. I had Montero third. So no, Josh Giddey getting Rising Star is a joke, Josh Halleckman. Brendan, I'm deliberately holding off on your question. Don't go away, buddy. Bronze medal, quick thing to note. Very weird, sort of almost like an exhibition game for the first 35 minutes. Last 5 minutes plus overtime was great. Great to see Dylan Brooks having the big game. Like, he's not the most likable guy, obviously, to some people, but he was getting booed out of it so many times. If you haven't seen already, got a video up on the site. I asked him if he had something to say to the haters after he scored 39 points to win that bronze medal for Canada. And so now we get to Brendan's question, which I've been waiting for. Brendan, I love you, and I've got a video all about this as well elsewhere on the site. Are Germany the real world champions, or is it still Denver? In a video that'll be up on the site shortly, Mo Wagner even jokes about this. By the way, loads of videos going up on the site shortly, the German guys. That's why I was late, because we were waiting for the Germans to come out. Yes, Germany are the real world champions. Like, look, the NBA champions are probably the best team in basketball as a roster. I'm not arguing that. But bottom line is, you're a closed shop. Like, there is no direct route for anyone else to enter from elsewhere in the world. You are two countries, and 29 of those teams are in one of those countries. Being the NBA champion is this great thing in its own self, but international ball, world titles, different. Germany are the world champions. Germany are the Weltmeisters. And that's the difference to me. I'm going to just go back to Moshe here, because he sent me loads. So Serbia had more experienced guys who didn't capitalize on why. And do I think it was Germany was just too damn talented? I don't think it was just they were too damn talented. I think they were too damn deep, but also some of their guys, that Eurobasket lost to Spain last year, stood to them a lot. They realized that for all our talent, for all our cohesion, we need more of that cohesion. We need more of that focus. And I just put a bit of steel in them that they hadn't, they needed. Like, because Germany, like, as I wrote about this in one of my preview pieces, like, you go back 2015, they got eliminated at home in the round of, in the group stage of Eurobasket, missing out in the round of 16. Like, Dennis sort of, was his first tournament. And then we had Dirk retiring, and we have a couple of the other lads walking by. Great, when we're doing the live show. This young man from New Zealand happened to wonderfully video bomb video to Shamangi earlier in the week, so that was a bit of crack. But having a great time with all the crew here, by the way. But yeah, now Germany, to me, they're at the point that they should be. I think the talent pool could get really good. One of the funniest things for me was that Germany fired its soccer coach, its football coach, during the time the basketball team was winning the World Cup. So to me, that's extraordinary, dovetailing. Have I seen Dennis's flex gang with him? I actually haven't seen the flex gang much. I saw them on screen once, but other than that, no. No, haven't seen them at all. It's been an extraordinary 2 weeks in Manila, I suppose. I'm looking back, I'm just going to for literally 2 minutes, look back on 2 weeks in Manila. The front end really here, we had just too little competition in the front phase. We eventually got a lot of it at the very end of that front phase. And then once we hit the quarterfinals, it was off to the races. Classic after classic. Like, OD USA Italy was a bad game of the last, 7 games in the tournament, which is, 8 if you count the third place game. And that also was, technically speaking, a good game. So, yeah, 1 game out of the last 8 not being a belter. Brilliant stuff. So, obviously, a quick shout out to Gigi Dotome, Luigi Grande. He played his last ever game of basketball yesterday. There's no cheering in the press box, but I can assure you in the press conference room, there was a standing ovation and round of applause for a real great worker. I've got to thank a few people who've helped me out here. Like, obviously, there's been the Eurohoos gang, Aris, Cesare, Vlad Spivak, who's always a good dude, Donatus, who's been helping in sort of the muscling in the mix zone as a team from Basket News. There's a load who've been great guys. Moshe and Lewis back home as well, who've been so good for sending stuff in. Josh Halleckman, who's in here now. But most of all, I got to thank Shabangi because they're so supportive. They're amazing. And they kept my head together at so many times during all of, not just this tournament, which they did, but so much of the last year. So coming home to you soon, honey. Love you. And I'm sure people have forgotten to thank, but they're all wonderful. Like Dave Hine, of course, great guy. Would help. And just like all the Serbian, Lithuanian, Latvian, Slovenian, German, Spanish, Italian journalists I've met, the Filipino journalists. I got Nicole Gagliani over there, who's been a great help to me in this tournament, right behind me. So it's been going great. Vlad Spivak is leaning in. If he wants to come around, he's more than welcome to. It's the very end of our last ever live show, Vlad. For this tournament, not last ever all time. So this is Vladimir Spivak.
Hey guys.
Hey guys. So
how many are watching?
4 right now, but we had a high of 7.
I love you guys. Those 4, you're the best people. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's great. Listen, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm going to wrap up now because
best World Cup you've ever been to?
Well, I've only been to 2, and yes, it was a lot better than the other one.
And the first one was where?
2014 in Spain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't a hard comparison, but really good tournament. It's been great. And like I said, we've got lots of content on the site and on the YouTube, so check it all out. And there'll be more going up in the next hour, I guess. Then I'm going to get a couple of beers, pack, and I suppose I'll sleep at some point, Vlad.
Yeah, most probably. I mean, you have to.
Yeah, because I'm not flying till the evening tomorrow. So yeah. Anyway, listen, everybody, good night. And as I've said at the end of every show, good night, Manila.
Oh my God, I love your show.
Thanks.